So today I will talk about the Olympics. I know it's not a environmental news story, and I will then talk about the um, crime a little bit. An article I found one. Um, there's a lot of transphobia in in the news in Olympics, and it's impacting cisgender women, all women, young girls, people of all genders. And it's unacceptable. And I believe that women deserve to be at the Olympics, trans women, all women. And they should be at the Olympics as women. Um, but this case, this first article is regarding two cisgender women at the Olympics who are facing abuse and discrimination. So I have to go to yes. So the first the first article is called IOC President backs two female boxers amid gender controversy condemning unacceptable attacks. So, this article is from the Globe and Mail, and it's by Paul Waldy. So, the head of the Olympic Committee, this article is saying, has strongly supported two female boxers whose genders have been called into question at the Paris Games. Iduria's Amin Khalif and Lin Yu King of Taiwan. They have been attacked by transphobic people. Um, and the IOC president Thomas Bah said, "We have two boxers who were born as a woman, who have been raised as a woman, who have a passport as a woman, and who have competed for many years as women. And this is the clear definition of a woman. We will not take part in the sometimes politically motivated culture war." He added, "What's going on in this context, in the social media, and with all this hate speech, with all this aggression and abuse, and fueled by this agenda, is totally unacceptable." The article says that two of them were expelled from the International Boxing Association. The Boxing Association hasn't revealed the results of gender testing on the boxers, and they have not been banned from other tournaments because of testosterone, and they are not recognized by the International Olympic Committee because of corruption. Bah said the IOC has strict regulations based on science to determine the eligibility of female athletes. And I want to caution now because there has been discrimination at the Olympics that isn't scientifically valid. Um, and transgender women, all women as well. But these two women are not transgender women. Um, it's very complex circumstances. Um, and then both fighters have lost several fights, and their gender has not been questioned before. And I think that's a troubling framing uh, because they shouldn't have to lose fights to prove that they're women. They are women. Um, Boss said uh, this case did not involve differences in sex development, um, and they are women taking part in women's competition. The athlete that the boxer that competed against Khalif Colney regretted her comments and wanted to apologize. And then there was a quote: "All this controversy certainly made me sad, and I feel so sorry for my opponent. She had nothing to do with it, and like me, was only here to fight. I have nothing against Khalif, and on the contrary, if I had happened to meet her again, I would give her a hug." There's also a problem with transphobic national leaders in Italy as well as billionaires, etc. Um, we need to do better to respect people and all this transphobia is impacting people of all genders, of all ages. So I'll get into that in the other articles that I have for today. So the next article is a CBC article, 9-year-old's gender question and gobsmacking track and field incident, family says. So this article, there was a 9-year-old track and field meet. The article is by Winston Stetsto and Brady Strachan. Oh, and the story. There's a warning. The story contains disturbing details of verbal abuse in relation to transphobia. So there's a track and field meet at Apple Bowl Stadium in Kelowna, BC, organized by a school board, elementary. Um, so um, there was an, a student who is cisgender, had a pixie cut. A man approached a parent volunteer, pointed to the 9-year-old, and mistaking her for a boy, questioned why a boy was participating in a girls' event. Um, and then asked for documentation in the form of certificate. Um, asked for invasive questions. There was abuse. Um, In a statement, the school district 23 superintendent Kevin Colorado said the district is taking action to prohibit the couple from entering its event. Yeah, so there was a couple involved in the harassment. Um, from entering schools and attending its events in the future. They expect that adults who are invited to celebrate student success govern their behavior and connect themselves with civility and respect they expect from students. One of the couple apologized to the school principal, but not the student involved. It's not clear. um, and they were reluctant to leave. Um, and then there was another incident. This one is a CTV article, 6-year-old misgendered by library staff promotes inclusiveness by mom, or prompts push for inclusiveness. Yeah. And this story is a 2019 article. Um, I don't see who it's published by. Might be by staff. Um, There's a quote: "The librarian said he's a boy," to which I said, "No, she's a girl," and she repeated herself, "No," and pointed, "He's a boy." And the parent had to clarify 6 times, according to this article, and asked the employee to use correct pronoun and eventually referred to Salone as a girl. Salone is the name of um, the girl that was misgendered. Um, a board member said that collection of gender identification stopped at the end of November and there was no longer a need for the data. And added, "That's not appropriate, that shouldn't happen," speaking with CTV News in Newmarket. Woodhouse is the board member. Going forward, Woodhouse said that there will be continuing mandatory education and training on inclusion and that the board is listening to people at source. So this 6-year-old was misgendered. This 9-year-old was misgendered. So it happens at all ages, and uh, 2 Olympic athletes were also misgendered, and they're all cisgender, uh, as to my knowledge. Um, and this is we shouldn't, as a society, we shouldn't be accepting or tolerating all this abuse. And transgender individuals are also people that should be respected. Um, oh, uh, I should transition. There's also a case in the U.S. A Utah official falsely suggests a teen is transgender and faces calls to resign. Nadia Lee falsely suggested a girl playing on a high school basketball team was transgender, and the teen became subject of threats and harassment. And and made transphobic, additional transphobic remarks, we most soberly recognize that there is a great variety within females when it comes to physical characteristics, and of course we're accepting of all these differences and want all girls to feel welcome in school sports. Sadly, our good faith efforts to be accepting of differences has at times been taken advantage of, causing a loss of trust, which leads to suspicion about girls who are more buff than most. So that is clearly transphobic and also homophobic. LGBTQ, the article says, I should say who made the article. Kira Alfonska of ABC News. Um, oh, this is going away of the chat. Um, we most solemnly recognize that there is a great variety. Oh, yeah, I read that. LGBTQ activists have long argued that transphobia and the policing of people's gender identity would impact people of all gender identities, including cisgender women and men. So, one issue that gets raised is increased chances of sexual assault because of genital inspections. Um, that could lead to assault, plain and simple. And it's not going to really tell you anything. Both transgender and cisgender women have been experiencing radical rejection, assault, and even being killed for not meeting this made-up ideal of what defines a woman. Lily B. Thomas, the communications director at the National Center for Transgender Equity or Equality. Um, and then the board leadership is very concerned about this. There's a quote post in the home as caused students and families in Utah. The statement read, "We are deeply saddened by the events that have taken place and will be taking prompt action regarding this matter as determined by the full board." But they don't have the power to file this individual. Um, and this was from 20. This article was from the Seal. Um, yeah, the abuse is simply getting out of hand. Um, and I will look at how much time I've been on here. So 19 minutes. Do I see anyone?